All right, we're back after a little hiatus with the Brent Connor Show. I have a special co-host today, Gerrard Sheppard. He's back with us. And then Baltimore Ravens legend, Matt Stover. Now, that was Ariana Grande, No Tears Left to Cry. Unfortunately, there might be some tears to cry this morning. Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson are no more.
Apparently, yeah.
Matt, that doesn't seem like your kind of thing that would interest you.
I did hear that today on the news, and she wrote a song and everything about it, and now it's
already.
Over. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, no, the old song. She wrote a song about him.
Yeah. Didn't they already get tattoos and stuff?
Yeah, now so be careful with the tattoo thing, right?
Wait, so who is this guy? Is he like
he's on Saturday Night Live?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's an actor. Makes sense.
He's somewhat funny.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get into a few things today. We're going to talk about the Player Philanthropy Fund. We're going to talk about business. You guys are two former players who transitioned into the business world, and we're going to talk about the state of the NFL. But let's get into yesterday's big win from the Ravens, 21-0 over the Titans.
Yeah.
One sack short of the all-time NFL record, which was 12 by the Dallas Cowboys in 1966. Now, what do you guys think about the Ravens this year?
I'm really happy for Wink. It's been a long time coming. Obviously, with Dean Pease retiring and going to Tennessee, he stepped up in that position. And obviously, the guys have a lot of respect for both Dean Pease and Wink. But yesterday's performance was just extraordinary, man. The defensive line brought a lot of pressure. It's good to see Jimmy Smith back in the lineup and playing again. So I was impressed, as I'm sure the rest of the Ravens Nation was impressed. I mean, it was a great win. The defense got the game started. The offense kind of picked up off of that. So it's definitely a great win.
When you score off the first two possessions, that's huge.
Yeah.
When you put 7 up, you don't just kick field goals. Mm-hmm. You're not punting. And when you do that, that just sets the tone to where you're forcing the other team now to catch up, and they have to play a little differently. Mm-hmm. The other thing is Michael Pierce is back on the line.
Yeah.
I think that was a huge issue with their running game. They didn't have one, but they had a total of 106 or 109 yards, Tennessee did.
Yeah.
When you do that to a team, and then the defensive backs play as well as they did. I think, Brent, you and I were talking about that the sacks were happening a lot because of the coverage.
Coverage sacks.
But at the same time, you can't always say that, because if you have a running game, the DBs have to play a lot looser.
Right.
So it just shows you that the game the Ravens are playing, they played the better chess match, I believe. And that's really what it came down to. Their game plan beat the Tennessee Titans game plan, because they're a good team.
Yeah.
Do you think they had any idea as the end of the game was approaching that they were within an all-time sack record? Is that the kind of former players, do you know that stuff going on during the game?
Well, I can tell you one thing. Terrell Suggs was kind of pissed off. I'm sure that he didn't get in for all of them.
Yeah.
When it's raining, sometimes it pours. Yeah. And as a player, you know it.
Yeah.
When I'm out there kicking 3, 4, 5 field goals, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
You try not to internalize it too much, but you know it's hot. You got your game going.
Yeah.
So everybody loves to play in those type of games, without question. And that fired up that defense to play even more aggressive. So the emotional state, the psychological state that it takes to play at a high level, that just adds fuel to fire.
Absolutely.
So they played the Titans, obviously, and Matt, back in your day, that was not so much anymore because of the realignment of the divisions. Not so much at all. That was a heated rivalry.
Oh, man, back at Eddie George and Steve McNair and Novak and all those guys, without question, that was a huge rivalry. Back even when the Houston Oilers moved, we played in Memphis for one season at the old Liberty Bowl. Derek Mason was there as a rookie. Tackled him twice in one game.
You tackled Derek Mason?
Twice. He was a return man. First time he stepped on the field was when Priest Holmes went down on kickoff. Nailed Mel Gray. Knocked him cold, clean out. Priest Holmes on kickoff.
Yeah.
Right? Nailed him. Remember, Priest was a great running back.
Yes, it was.
And so then Mel Gray steps out, and then here comes this rookie, Derek, we didn't know nothing about, and he was returning like crazy. So I actually had covered. We were scoring a lot that day.
So you laid him out and said, "Welcome to the NFL."
Laid him out? No. Got in the way? Yes. I learned a long time ago, get in the way, but you don't have to do much more.
Yeah.
And let's save it for another day.
Yeah.
Do you have highlights of these?
I'm sure I do somewhere.
Yeah, I'd like to see those. give us some stories back in there. One of the things that stands out to me is that was the old playbook fiasco, right? They allegedly may have took Trent Dilfer's playbook.
Yeah, there was a lot of that speculation. I mean, there's the old Belichick thing.
Turn the cameras
off.
And
it is true that each away team has a chain and a padlock for the locker rooms because they are the only ones who can enter and exit that. So when they come in there the day before on Saturday, they put everything in the locker room. They typically only want access for the away team to have it. Well, whether or not that happened, I don't know. But when I look back at that game, I'll never forget when we played them in the division championship game in 2000, 2001, that season.
The year you guys won the Super Bowl.
We won the Super Bowl.
Great game.
And they drove down on the first drive and scored a touchdown. Mm-hmm. And the defense came over to the sideline and says, well, we just spotted him 7. It's over now. We're going to shut George down. He won't even finish. He won't even get till halftime. Mm. And he didn't. Mm. They shut him down. They hit him so hard. Ray and those guys hit him so hard. It was over. Mm. And it was that transcendent cause, that passion that defense had. That
right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You guys really think you're good? Okay.
Love it.
And then they backed it up.
Yeah,
they shut them down. It was really cool.
I love it, man. Whenever your defense can come to the sideline with that confidence and tell you, obviously, that they're going to take this game into their hands and shut it down, like, that pumps the offense up. That gives special teams confidence. Like, everything just rolls on from that point on. That's definitely the culture of the Ravens.
They stuck it to us. I mean, our sideline went,
yeah.
What the heck? We weren't used to seeing that.
Yeah.
And Diva says, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
They got us. It's over now. And everybody went, all right.
Yeah.
And we were punting. We were field position game. Next thing you know, we start scoring a couple and we kick a few field goals that game. And you look at the teams that have that trust in one another.
Yeah.
Like if the Ravens can develop that trust, the defense is going to be consistent and they're going to play to that level. The offense do their job. Mm-hmm. They don't have to be the heroes, but do their job. Because if you can hold a team to 0 points anytime, I don't care how bad the other team is, if you can shut a team out in the NFL, oh my goodness, that's crazy.
They're
hard.
not bad. Yeah. They're in first place.
Yeah, right. So it just shows you that the defense is good. They They bent a couple times. Now they have to find their way to say, okay, this is who we are. This is how we play our consistent ball. Let's stick with this game plan.
Sure. We were talking about the old days. Different game back then. Now it's changed a little. You have a different perspective. We were talking about it before we started going on air. Last night, Breland Speaks, I believe his name is, had Tom Brady wrapped up, dead to rights. Let him go. And Tom Brady ran for a touchdown. And I think all the penalties now that's a result of all the penalties. The guy, he came out and said he was worried about getting fined.
Yeah.
So as a from the fans' perspective, I sit there and watch it and I'm like, oh, what the hell, man? I miss the hitting, it's football. You guys have a different perspective. We were talking about before we won here. It's a business.
Absolutely.
There's a reason why they're trying to protect the quarterbacks, which I don't like watching it, but I understand what you guys had to say.
Right. And in a sense, the defensive tackles and linebackers, it's kind of changed the culture for those guys because they're used to wrapping up the quarterbacks and taking them down. But now after Clay Matthews getting fined, I believe it was 3 weeks in a row, maybe 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
For hits that look perfectly fine, but the NFL has changed the rules. And now it's totally altered the way guys have to tackle a quarterback. Kind of like have to grab him and just like drag him down to the ground as opposed to actually tackling him.
That's the thing. The one thing that gets me is what else are you supposed to do? And I've never heard an answer for that question.
I don't know.
What I would say is if I'm a referee, which at the time it needs to be objective and subjective. Objective, okay, you have the quarterback. Subjective, is the quarterback fighting to get away?
Right.
Or is he going down?
Yeah.
Did Clay Matthews put his helmet right in the middle of the guy's chin, or did he move it to the side? I think that has to be reviewable. I think they need to make it reviewable. If they're going to throw a flag, right? Now, of course, every fine is reviewed by the league. So if they deem it, that means that they have a whole room of people in there
watching.
And I'm not going to argue with that. Now, mind you, I've appealed a couple fines, but I lost every time because I chop blocked somebody. But
I was going to ask, what were you flying?
Yeah, chop blocking the lead blocker on a return,
okay.
kickoff return, and I had to go low because the guy was going to kill me if I went high. You can't do that, only with a guy with a ball. And I was fine for that. Totally understood. I still appealed it because there is a process of appealing those, and they really don't want to take your money, but they do have to keep the game safe. So with regard to the culture of the game and where it's going, we all know that the pink elephant in the room was the concussion issue. So the helmet cannot be used for contact. It is only there to protect you in case you did have contact. It cannot be used proactively. It has to be used in a reactive sense. So if that's going to be the thinking that the NFL has, just from the game itself, you have to change the way the game's played. A running back shouldn't even be able to lead his heads right into somebody. He's got to be running straight up, and then the linebacker can't come in and hit his helmet on his head. So to safeten up the game, because of course the concussions and all the litigiousness going on.
If you're going to run someone over, what do you do? Because my first reaction would be to lower
to
my
hunker
shoulder
down and lower, right? But you
Yeah.
can't go in there and just lower it into somebody's chest or something. It's subjective,
Yeah.
objective, and subjective. I mean, that's what's going to make it. Really comes down to the referee, and that is incredibly difficult. Now, I will say that they train our referees. Those referees have high integrity. They do everything they can to get the play call right. I know that. They're not out there as jerks, but they make mistakes. I don't mind as a player.
You don't think any of them are out there as jerks?
Well, they can act like one, but as a whole, they're not. I've met a lot of them, spent a lot of time with them. Being on the player board of reps for 16 years, they were always represented at our union so that we could actually ask them questions. And talking with the president. With regard to the quarterback protection, I know that if I have 20% of my salary, revenue going towards my quarterback, and you're going to take him out, and Aaron Rodgers or Joe Flacco, and all of a sudden my season's over, and my salary cap has been hit so much, and I have no productivity from a business perspective, I'm hot as an owner. So I know that the owners are the ones that are putting that pressure on the league to make sure that those quarterbacks are kept safe. It's a business. At the end of the day, it's the entertainment business at the end of the day. And as a player, even on defense, you better realize that. Now, whether or not you like it, too bad. You get paid a lot of money because those quarterbacks, if you hate to say it, they may be prima donna, some of them. But, I think that position is the most important position on the field. I really do. I played 20 years and flat out. I mean, you can argue it all you want.
Yeah, I disagree. I think it's kicker and wide receiver.
Scoring points and field position, right? And maybe the punter too, because he keeps a long field, right?
All right. So speaking of business, we talked about the business aspect of the NFL. You guys are both businessmen. Very active in this community. When did you each will have a story. When did you decide, when you're done playing or while you were playing, all right, I want to not totally transition and stop playing and start a business right away, but when did you decide I want to get into the whole entrepreneurship business world?
I actually it's funny that we're here because I actually met with Matt probably in 2000 and maybe 11 or 12 at Chipotle. And we had lunch and we were just talking about the future, and he was like, man, just always focus on plan B while you're going through plan A. And
Plan A at the time was playing.
Exactly. And those words always stuck with me. And that kind of like lit a light bulb in my head. Like, hey, like you never know when your last snap will be, So you, at the end of the day, you're still responsible for bringing home income and feeding your family. Like that just doesn't stop because your football career stopped. So all throughout that time, I've just been thinking, and obviously the opportunity opened up for us to get the juice bar up and rolling. And here we are today.
And while I was playing, I knew that my career was going to come to an end, and I was going to be a young guy. I was going to be in my 20s. Right now, mind you, I played till I was 42. Who would have thought? Now, mind you, I kicked till I was 42. I didn't play. So,
well, you did have 2 tackles. So
I had a few. I had 26 of them total.
Wow.
But when you look at the career, my first year at the Giants, I finished my college degree. I had 2 courses. So I finished my degree, got that, right? Then my next year with the Cleveland Browns, I was newly married. And that first off season, I interned for International Manager Group, IMG, out of Cleveland. They were headquartered there. And I learned the financial business, the insurance business, the agent business, all those, and I started to network myself because I knew my career was going to come to an end.
Yeah.
It was going to be over. Maybe I was 26, maybe I was 23, maybe I was 28, right? But I knew I was going to be young, so I immediately started transitioning out of the NFL. That is the biggest thing I can tell any professional athlete is go ahead and start transitioning now, so that when, not if, when it comes, your next work is already set up. Now, after that 5 years of interning, I had enough network. I had enough people where I could step out of the league and go get a financial job, be an agent, whatever I want to do. One thing I knew I didn't want to do was coach because, that talking about insecurity. My family couldn't have taken that.
Yeah.
And then in 14 years after my NFL career, I had enough funds to be able to invest money that I could afford to lose. So I would say to any athlete that if you can't afford to lose it, don't invest it.
Yeah.
Right? Unless it's done by a fiduciary financial firm who does a highly diversified portfolio that you can spend cash off on an annual basis, right?
Now we're really getting into it, guys.
So, right? So that type of piece in my mind was a critical understanding that, okay, an investment came my way and it happened to be with a trusted friend, and we hit it and we, crushed the market in a .com. And I was blessed. I made more money than I ever did playing.
I would say so.
Yeah, we did okay with that. And it was called creditcards.com. We created a site that people could come on and apply for credit cards. And if they were approved, we got paid per each approved application. And we built quite a bit. From there, I had the opportunity to start the Players Philanthropy Fund because then I understood how to gift money because I had a substantial amount of wealth from that, but it allowed me to understand the donor advice funds, how that operated, and then we created the Players Philanthropy Fund as a donor advice fund that manages professional athletes. Instead of them having their own private foundation, they just plug into mine and they operate as if they have one.
That sounds nice. Do you have any fun events coming up?
Yeah, I do. It's funny that you say that. I have a cornhole tournament on next Monday, October 22nd, from 6 to 9:30, 10 at the Baltimore Museum of Industry. And it's a cornhole tournament. A bunch of the Ravens. Gerrard's going to be there. I've got Chris Davis from the Orioles and several other Orioles. And we just have a great time to where those proceeds go into helping the Players Philanthropy Fund offset its operating expenses so that we can facilitate the professional athletes in their gifting at a much cheaper rate. So more of their dollars are being used for their causes.
Okay. What can I expect going to I've been to the event last year, but how much are tickets? Are tickets still available? What kind of stuff goes on at the event?
You go on to ppf.org. That's playersphilanthropyfund.org. And right there, they'll have sponsorships if you want to play cornhole with one of the celebrities. It's $1,000. It's all tax deductible.
Yeah.
The money goes to that, and it's a fun. If you want to come, I think it's $100 for a general admissions ticket. You come and get food and drink and enjoy watch everybody play, get pictures, opportunity to meet. I think right now there's 14 Ravens and 4 Orioles. So we've got a bunch of people coming there. But at the end of the day, it's a fun way to get together and experience, the what everybody's doing in the philanthropy world. From Dwayne Wade to DeAndre Jordan to Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, John Brinkus, all these people have a fund. Yeah. Now they won't all be there, but these guys, the bandwidth that we've created for them to do their good works and to do it safely has really been a fun opportunity for me to do.
That's great.
Great, and I love the cornhole too. I mean, most people have golf outings, bowling. What made you come up with the idea to have a cornhole tournament?
In the NFL, most of the teams have cornholes in their locker room.
Yeah. Got that right.
Are you good at cornhole, Gerrard?
I'm decent, but someone who's very good is Justin Tucker.
He is good.
He's very good. Him and Morgan
Cox. Be there?
Yeah, Justin will be there. Morgan will be there. Sam Cook can't come, but yeah, it's all right. I'll forgive him again.
Yeah. Justin Tucker, that guy's good at everything, right?
Yes, he is, and singing.
Yeah. How many different languages does he
8.
sing up? Oh, gosh.
I think 8, yeah.
Man.
It's impressive.
So going back to, we're shifting topics here, the protecting the quarterback and all the rules. I have a question for both of you. Where do you see the future of the league going? A lot of people don't even think there's going to be football in 15, 20 years. How do you see the future of the league? Flags?
Yeah.
Pillows? Are they going to hug each other
Pillows,
and say,
sleeping
I love you
bags.
instead of tackling?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the fans, in due time, are going to get kind of fed up with the way that the league is going. Obviously, defensive backs have to kind of in the same way they have to kind of wrap up a wide receiver coming across the middle, as opposed to actually hitting the wide receiver. They have to position themselves in a perfect way, which is kind of impossible when you're moving so fast and so violently.
Please don't do that. It hurts my
I
ears.
apologize.
That's all right.
It's so I'm just passionate. It's so hard to kind of slow yourself down and wrap someone up when you're moving so fast at such a high rate. And I think that the fans are kind of going to get fed up with it. And so ultimately, I don't know if there'll be a 360 turn and, they'll start to make changes on the way that the game is played. But hopefully it doesn't continue to go down this route and this path that it's going now, because I think that, I think the fans, like we said, it's a business. And the fans start to give it their PSLs, or fans stop going to games, buying jerseys, stop watching, at the same time, that's going to have an effect as well.
Another issue is that there's so much competition for your sports entertainment dollar.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful that your game is attractive. I think last year in 2017 created a big issue politically for a lot of people, that division that our country has. So the league and the players have to be very careful. I think that the players need to find it more as a business, not a game, and that they even join even closer with the owners, that they even understand it even more and not be contentious with it. It is what it is. And as long as the NFL has to pay billions of dollars for CTE issues, right, and for all the medical issues that are going on in our crazy culture that deals with the litigiousness, I think that it's going to be softened to some extent. Yeah. But I still think it's a great game. I do. And I think there's going to be plenty of players. Yeah. I really think that the majority of America loves the game. I think they'll still love the game. I don't want the referees to play too much of a part of the game, but even though we don't want that, it's forcing it. I also think that it's going to be a higher scoring game. So if the result of not being able to hit the wide receiver, or that creates more scoring, the NFL has always been about scoring because it's exciting, right? And as a defensive player, that stinks. But if everybody's getting scored on, it doesn't matter. It's like when I had to go to the brand new football that I had to kick, every other kicker in the league had to kick the brand new football. It wasn't just me. So as long as I know I'm in a same competitive balance as the next guy, I'm going to be able to deal with that a little bit more, because I'm being objectively evaluated by my coaches against the rest of the league that's going through the same thing, and therefore I'm not going to get cut because I have to play the game differently. No, everybody has to play the game that way. And if you don't, the league's going to crack down on it, right, with a penalty and fines. I see that as an issue. I wish it wouldn't happen, but I also wish that injuries and CTE and all that wasn't a huge part of the issue either. But it is. And so you have to deal with it. The league knows it. They're no fools. They're going to expand the league. Okay? They're going to expand the league. The union also, and the players, they have a new negotiating in 2020. They got a new collective bargaining agreement coming up. They better get themselves together quick, or it's going to get ugly with regard to labor relations. And that's going to only isolate the public even more if they don't do that. So my point is, who's ever listening, I believe the league's in great shape.
Oh, there are people listening.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, with the people listening, I really want them to hear that I love the game. It's a game that's going to continue to grow. The NFL knows that. I know that. I want the game to be a great game to watch, but it is going to change. And I don't think that all of it's going to be for the bad either. I really think a lot of it's going to be for the good, because I've seen on Monday mornings the training room. And it's pretty brutal, right?
All right. Well, thank you, guys. Let's wrap it up with two more things. Okay. Who's going to win the World Series? And Princess Meghan and Prince Harry are having a baby. Is it going to be a boy or a girl?
Oh man. Well, I'll start with the second one first. I think it's gonna be a boy. Why, I have no idea. And who's even in the World Series? I haven't been keeping up.
We don't know yet. It's down to the ALCS and NLCS. We got the Dodgers and Brewers, and the Red Sox and Astros. I like the Astros.
I think Astros, and I think the Dodgers.
Okay, yeah, rematch of last year.
My college roommate is actually George Springer, so.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah,
so you're
so
pulling for the Astros.
Pulling for the Astros, yeah.
I like the team with the lowest salary cap and the lowest salary, which is the Brewers. They've always had bad.
Right.
Can't pay their players.
Yeah.
And then the Red Sox. And then the little guy's going to take the big guy down.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it, right? Because they have a higher calling.
There you go.
So, I love being underdog.
Absolutely.
Loved it. When we were in Tampa in 2000, there was 75% of the stadium was a New York Giants fan.
Yeah.
There's no way we're going to be able to shoot. It was over in the first quarter.
It was over.
It was over. Kerry Collins couldn't get past the 50-yard line.
You know what I just thought of looking at we're in the Stover Treehouse. You got the picture, your team photo of the Giants.
Yeah.
People don't realize that game inspired Ace Ventura.
Yeah, it did. The wide right.
The Scott Norwood missed field
Scott
goal.
Norwood, yeah.
Ray Finkel was based on Scott Norwood, and now you have Ace Ventura. How about that?
That's awesome.
I'm on that picture, and I'm right sitting in front of Phil Simms, Lawrence Taylor, and Bill Parcells. I'm right in the middle of the picture. Didn't get the ball that year, but it was a great learning lesson.
Wow.
Good stuff.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you being on, and I look forward to some cornhole next week.
Thanks, Brent.
All right,
Appreciate the
thank you,
time.
guys.
Having us on.
Thank you.